Sometimes you're the bug, and sometimes you're the windshield. Welcome back, folks, to Random Rod Shop. Today we're just going to try to tie up some loose ends. I want to finish the welding and get this air box put in there. Try to get a battery box put in this thing, and try to, I think if we get to it, I'd like to close up that heater box. You know, somebody mentioned that it looked like that I had taken the heater wouldn't work anymore. Let me find my box here. So the way the heater works, let's see here. So this goes on there like that. So the way the heater works is if you got that flapper down like that, then that means that you're pulling air from inside the cab. So that's recirculation mode. You pull it up like that, it sucks air through the cowl into and through the heater. That's your outside air. So, you know, that's the air you want when it's a cool morning, you're trying to defrost the windshield. What we've done is we've kind of disabled the fresh air part of the heater mechanism. So effectively it'd be like running this like that all the time. What I'm thinking though is that since I've got a vent in the kick panel, like right here, my thought is I'm going to run a duct from the kick panel vent into the side of the heater box, and then I can activate the kick panel vent to draw fresh air into the heater, which means it should operate exactly like it did from the factory. So hopefully that answers that question. The end result is I expect the heater to operate just like it did from the factory. The only difference is we're pulling fresh air from a different place. Still ultimately from the cowl, but it's coming, you know, the path's a little different. So kind of worked out slick in my mind. Okay, so we're going to get started on this. As I said last time, just got it all tied together. Still got to make a lid here so that we can change the filter. All right, that filter's got to go through there. So I'm going to cut this out, and I'm going to stick the mass flow on here and put the filter on there because I really want to know how much room I've got between the end of the filter and the end of the box. Because what we got to do is we got to cut this out. All right, we got to cut it off right here. Let me get the camera over here. So what we've got to do is we've got to cut it here all the way around and extend that with, you know, a little section that's rectangular shape just like that opening, and then put a flange around it so that this piece can be separate from the box itself, so that you can pull the box out, leave that on the firewall. Now the purpose of that is so we get some relative movement between here and here, right? The cab's going to move separately. We talked about that last time. So the cab's going to move separately from the inner fender, so you need a, for lack of a better term, you need a strain relief point right there. So that's what we're going to work on. I'm going to put the camera back on the tripod, and I'm going to start cutting. Let's see if I cut it big enough. Well, not quite. There we go. Now I'm happy. Okay, now what I want to do is put the mass airflow on there and set that filter in there, and let's see how much room we got. we've got all kinds of room in there. All right, so let's bring the duct in like 2 inches. All right, let me get that cut out of there, and we'll come back when this thing's all cut apart. We need to make a box around this so it'll slip in that hole I just made. All right, so I think we've got it on there where we're gonna want it. You can kind of see what's going on there, right? So that is just gonna slip in that hole. We gotta build a flange around it, and then we'll just put some foam weather stripping between this and the box. And I think that's gonna work. Let me see if I can tweak our box just a little bit. Well, I think we're gonna go from there. I think I can tweak it around, and I think I can make that fit from there. Oh yeah. I like that. Okay. So now the fun part. Let's get this welded up. All right, we're making headway on this thing. I can't believe how much grinding and welding and holy smoke. Anyway, sort of started working on the top and pulled out the old bead roller. This one's not going to work. We're going to have to make it again. But I was trying to decide on kind of the shape. And while I was doing this, I thought, well, maybe you guys will be interested in the bead roller. I know there's a lot of videos out on YouTube that talk about powering the bead roller. I made this one quite a while ago. We had an old 1/2-inch drill, and I've got lots of Chevy parts. So let me show you what we did. So there's the Black & Decker drill. It's just a 1/2-inch variable speed, reversible. And you Chevy guys probably can see what's going on here. I took the starter drive off of a Chevy starter, and that's a flex plate off of a small block Chevy. Basically welded a adapter on, bolted that on, and that's what drives this thing. And I forgot, I just basically extended the wires on the switch and had a Harbor Freight foot pedal, and I basically just, stuck that thing in there. So that's the original trigger for the drill. So let me push it down here. All right, so it's a variable speed. This thing will crawl. Now the downside is, obviously, it's not a stepper motor, so it does kind of wind down, but when you've got metal in it, it winds down pretty quick, right? But as long as you know that's what's going on, you can kind of plan accordingly. And since it's a reversible drill, I still got the little switch on the reversing switch. So it goes both ways. Anyway, like I said, I don't know if you guys are interested in it, but if you're looking to power, power bead roller with little or no money, that's not a bad way to do it. Okay, so I'm gonna cut out another piece of metal. If I would have been thinking a little better, I would have put round corners on this box. As it is, I'm gonna have to redesign this. So I'm gonna think about this for a minute. I'll get back to you. Okay, I think we have just about got this thing all together. So let me put it all together and let's have a look at it. I had to fill up a few pinholes on this thing after I ground it, but we got the flange on it. That will go in there like so. And so all that's left to do on this is to get this tack welded on here, and then we'll glue some foam on this so that when it goes against here, it will kind of knock the big stuff out, and that'll still allow it room to move. All right, I'm going to go ahead and do a little more cleaning on this. Make sure I haven't got any more pinholes. Get this tack welded on here and probably squirt some paint on it. I mean, gotta have a little paint on it. Okay, let me do some grinding. Let me do a little more grinding and clean up, and we'll see if all of this is still happening. Get it bolted into the pickup so I can determine where I need to spot weld this on at. Okay, let me get back to you. Okay, folks, I think we're ready to stick it in there. I'm gonna move the camera over there and let's see if we can get it in there. Alright, let's see, I'm going to have to get the mass airflow meter in there. I suspect I should put a little silicone around this so I can seal that. so I don't think it's going to matter. I don't think it's going to matter. At this point, I probably ought to put a hose clamp on this thing. Well, let's see if I pulled anything loose. Okay. Well, I gotta admit, I didn't expect that to take me so stinking long. Sometimes that's just the way it is. You know? Sometimes you're the bug, and sometimes you're the windshield. All right, well, I got a battery box. This is out of a Silverado, and I think this thing's gonna fit in there without a whole lot of problems. End up taking that off right there, but I think we're gonna have to take that for another day. I think the next step is I want to clean up these wires, and I still don't have the wires going back to the tail lights, and I don't have fuel senders, so I'm going to see if I can put all the tail light, brake light, the fuel pump, fuel sender, get those in a wrap and fish those down through here. And I need to get this thing starting on the key. So I think that's what we're going to do next time, is we're going to see if we can kind of tidy up some electricity stuff and see if we can get this thing to start on a key. That would make me happy. I appreciate you guys watching. If you're coming back, I appreciate you coming back. If you're new, go ahead and subscribe. make a comment, you know, share it with your friends, and we'll see you next time.